goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Thanks for having us. This is a very cool show.
Yeah, so through many iterations, and we finally landed on the weirdest one by far.
Yeah, simple of feelings, and boom, you got a sound.
I remember this one time, I'd been writing some songs, and I went out. I'm just going right in on this story. I went out, and so I was.
The story's longer than the song itself. We'll go ahead and play it.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot, up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar.
Day 7 of the daily live stream from Musikfest from Godfrey Daniels, we have the Slambovian Circus of Dreams and Bren.
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, and this is your next favorite band. I can almost guarantee it today. Honored, super pumped to talk to Joziah and Tink.
Yes.
From the Slambovian Circus of Dreams.
Yes, you got it.
Big hand to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Can't wait to get into some stuff, but what I wanted to touch on here first is you are playing tonight. So can't thank you enough for including a stop here at Godfrey's. You've played here before.
Yeah, we have many times.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then also, you obviously have to, kind of gild the lily. You got to get ready for tonight. And so again, so appreciate you taking a moment to stop by. And I want to show this to everybody who's tuning in. You're the fave of the day. So we every day of Musikfest, we put out one fave of the day and then 5 other bands for that day that we think, hey, if you're going down to the festival, these are the 6 that you definitely want to check out. And you're number 1 for us today.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
We are quite honored. Thanks so much, man.
So what we normally do off the top is then we kind of go into how each one of those sound. Today I'm going to just highlight you, and then we'll chat because I want to get you off to the stage.
Cool.
So let me just bring in here. I have a song here of yours that I think really highlights the flavor of things. I'm actually going to get it started because it does have that nice warm build up in the beginning here.
Nice.
So let's bring this song on. And it's the Trans-Slambovian Bipolar Express.
For a big hit.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Number 1 was
And I'll bring the volume down so we can chat over the top of it. This looks like a really good festival too.
Black Bear Festival.
Yeah.
Fairly new festival, but really well attended and very cool.
And they had a bunch of umbrellas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the Immortal Jellies.
Is that what it is?
It's a takeoff on the Mummers, because
Okay.
I'm from Philly originally. So
Right.
I started having, a Mummer umbrella on stage, and the audience picked up and started showing up with umbrellas.
Yes.
And then they started decorating them until they looked like jellyfish.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so then they electrified the
Yeah.
umbrellas, and it became this big event, and it's gorgeous. They're so creative.
Yeah.
And they come to a lot of the festivals.
Definitely. Well, I hope they're in full effect tonight. You are on a gorgeous stage tonight at the festival. It's platz, and it has the whole south side. It's up basically by where our, basically all of the community leadership. So the mayor's office, the police department, the public library, and then it has this beautiful view of Southside Bethlehem. And they put the stage in front of that, and so this is an awesome backdrop behind you.
fairly new stage, right?
Yeah, it used to be there like early in the festival, and it was the big stage. And then they moved that to outside where the steel stacks are, and then they brought it back last year. Was the first time they brought it back, and it was so popular. It's a great space. The acoustics are amazing. The view is amazing, and so it's only bigger and better this year.
So we'll have to put on a good show tonight.
Yeah, no pressure, but
Yeah, good. We're ready.
No fear in the world.
Is the mayor coming?
He very much was a big reason why the stage came back.
Hey, how about Jesus?
Everybody's. Tonight might be the event.
Yeah, that's right. It might happen.
Yeah. We've been doing well at festivals this year. It's been a good year for festivals.
That's awesome.
We did a couple UK festivals, 30,000 on the ground. People.
Last summer,
Fairport
yeah.
Convention invited us to do their festival.
Yeah.
We did it for 30,000. We picked the best band next under Fairport Convention of all their bands.
Wow.
We were like, wow, that was cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want people to know, like, a lot of times we're trying to put the music on display,
Yeah.
obviously. We're also wanting you to not only understand how great the music is, but also the vibe.
Yeah.
Like the outfits and, like you said, the audience is getting into it, that
Yeah.
this should be a super fun set.
Because that band there on the stage, that's a Pennsylvania look that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Very influenced by Pennsylvania, where I'm originally from.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
there we have it. So yeah.
Yeah, and then what I love too is that you lean all the way in on this culture that's been created of like the songs are the Slambovian Bipolar Express. There's other songs that have the Slambovia kind of feel to it.
Yes.
And I just think it's so fun.
Yeah, it's a world. It definitely is a world.
Yes.
My kid said that's the cool thing about it, because it is a world. And it really is. I mean, wherever we go, when the jellies show up or something, you just, it dominates in a lovely way, the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So.
Yeah. So why don't you, and I know we don't have a ton of time. Normally we have like 45 minutes to an hour for a normal episode of the show, and we really get into like the full history. For today, let's just touch on a few things. Like, where did it start? Like, how did you come up with the concept and the theme of what the Slambovian Circus of Dreams is about?
I mean, I left Philadelphia in the 60s.
He was very young.
Yeah, I was very young. And I moved to a commune, up in Bucks County that Darryl Hall was supposed to move to with us, but everybody was afraid that he would hit on their wives, so we left Darryl behind on Quint Street, where we all lived back in those days.
Right.
And then, there was a series of things that happened that led me to New York City as a young kid. And things took off. We had several successful bands in New York City. We were the first American band into China.
I was going to ask you about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that since the revolution, we're the first American band they invited. So that opened up Shanghai. Shanghai opened 6 months after we played.
Yep.
So they opened to the Western culture. It was a very successful tour. And then we came back and played Carnegie Hall with a 72-piece orchestra. So there was a lot of buzz.
Wow.
We were called the Ancestors.
Okay.
It was Tink and I with a whole bunch of New York City musicians who would sit in with us and play.
Sure.
And then, what happened shortly after that, we were working in a place in New York with a lot of big-name people coming through. We worked with McCartney and Bowie and all kinds of people.
Wow.
We were in the city
They
doing
were our
it.
clients.
Yeah, and they wanted to sign us, and we didn't want to sign. So that's what made us depart from New York City. So many people tried to sign us, and we just decided, let's move upriver and hide out, and we'll just create a band and tour it. And we made up a name so they couldn't find the Ancestors. We were called the Ancestors, right? And that was the buzz band. We called ourselves Gandalf Murphy and the Slambovian Circus of Dreams, which is a Pennsylvania kind of tall tale name.
Okay.
Something my grandfather would say, or something, my Swedish grandfather. And so that's how the name came about. We did it as a lark, and also to keep the labels away. And we've been touring that thing for quite a while now, right?
And also, this was around the time, mid-90s, we took off. We felt like, hey, the handwriting's on the wall. Doing it yourself, being the ultimate DIY band, we thought we got to do that. So we actually went to school, studied recording, did all this stuff so we could be totally independent.
Yeah.
And we've been independent, and our fans have just supported us all the way. And now we established our own record label, so we kind of
Storm King Records, yeah.
we have our own
Very
record
cool.
label. So now we're not independent, but we were hired by ourselves to be a band.
And for us, even the name Storm King, we live on the Hudson River, right across from West Point now. and Storm King Mountain is there, and it's the beginning of the new environmental movement.
Mm-hmm.
The River Keepers started there, and Pete Seeger lived right there. Pete lived 10 minutes from our house, so we got involved with the whole environmental movement. We did a lot of work with Pete when he was on the Earth Plane, and then we hid in the folk realm for a while because Pete said we were a folk rock band, which we're not.
No.
But we became a folk rock band, so we did a lot of folk festival touring.
That's how we ended up here.
Sure, that would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, they did their first open mic here at Godfrey
Yeah.
Daniels, one of the first ones, him and Sharkey. And so the thing is the focus was on songs and intent.
Right.
And I think we always felt like we really wanted to be where people could appreciate the songwriting. So we kind of did this circuitous route, and here we are today.
Yeah.
Full
Back
circle.
at Godfrey Daniels.
Yep.
This is cool, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fun when I was, telling Ramona like who I was reaching out to and who was kind of responsive when I mentioned you guys. She was like, "Oh, they've played here. It would be so great to see them."
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was nice to see her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the nice part about having such a well-established history of a club, that you do have that ability to have touched all these different famous musicians over the years. And, so it's very, very cool.
We're so happy to be back because, the thing is, the band's known, but not everybody knows. He's really from Philly for like several generations. His family were like pig farmers, and like he's really the earth. He's like from the
Pennsylvania's in
soil
my
of
blood,
Philly.
man.
Sure, of
He's
course.
really it.
Yeah. And very admirable what you were talking about with staying independent and that kind of stuff. I mean, that had to have been so much harder than it is today.
That's right. Back in those days, people thought we were arrogant. We turned down like major labels, like Sony Epic.
Yeah.
Sent presidents to meet us, and we
Columbia.
in Columbia. Mm-hmm. A vice president from Columbia came, and they were all courting us. And we just didn't want to do it. Hitman, the book Hitman came out, so the industry started to get exposed as to how they treated people, and we were like, yeah, that's cool. We don't need to do that. Mm-hmm. And luckily, we were able to pull off a band. This has been the day job for
20 years or so.
Yeah, 20-something years. Yeah.
So we've just been like gypsies. So we're happy to come home to home base in Philly, land here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We tour all over the States, and the UK pretty regularly has us over there.
Sure.
And like I said, last year we're big festivals, like 20,000, 30,000. They were fun.
And just wanted to say, before we sign off here, I just remembered we are coming back we're doing a Halloween show in Jim Thorpe at Mouth Trunk Opera House.
Yes.
But also we're doing our really big New Year's Eve show.
Yeah. And
at
when
World
is
Cafe.
when is the Mouth Trunk thing?
Mouth Trunk's October 28th, Saturday, and then
That's fun. Come to that.
Oh, yeah.
New Year's Eve, we know when that is. I mean, Philly knows when that is.
That's exactly right, yeah.
New Year's Eve has been a magic thing for us, too, at World Cafe Live. Every year we do it. New Year's Eve so that the mummers actually can come, because they can't come on New Year's Eve. They're getting their costumes ready.
Of course, right.
So when we play there, kids that I went to kindergarten with come. It's so freaky for me.
Of course, right.
So, that's really cool. So come out to some of those shows if you haven't seen us.
Definitely.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And tonight 7 o'clock or 7:30?
7:30 we start
7:30.
playing, yeah.
I should know these things myself.
Rain is over, by the way.
That's right, yeah. That's one other thing we're going to touch on, in the middle part of the show is there's a very, very talented weather prognosticator in the area. His name is Bobby Marchich.
Cool.
And we always, when there's a day that has threats of stuff, we always bring in his forecast. So that is true. It's basically the rain happened this morning in the afternoon and it's over. There could get a little wet, sure, but as the night goes on, there's less and less of a chance. So by 7:30 and by the into your set, it would only get that much more beautiful.
But they can bring their umbrellas.
They
Because
can bring
it's
the
part of
umbrellas,
the fun.
yeah.
And
Hopefully they look like jellyfish.
That's right.
Yep. And the other part is there won't be thunder. So like rain doesn't shut down the festival. It's the lightning and thunder, and he said there won't be any of that.
Good. We love you, Bobby. Good work.
Yes. Yeah. That's the funny thing is like a lot of people are just like, can you do something about that? And he's like,
He can prophesy.
Yeah. One last question. The China thing, just how was that? It must have been so amazing to be unlocking something.
Yeah.
If people go to our site, our Facebook site, dial in Slambovia.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Slambovia.com, it'll hook you up with our Facebook site and all.
Yeah.
But
What
there
our
you
new
can see
website.
it was the 30th anniversary of our trip to Shanghai, and we put up footage of the China tour. You can go
Yeah,
watch
it's on
that.
our,
Yeah.
it's somewhere along on our main
So-
website.
Yeah.
Not Facebook.
Right here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you
So
can,
we're sharing this now. So if you
Oh,
want to
good.
navigate me,
yeah.
this is
So
this-
find the Facebook. Is it Facebook?
It's not Facebook. No, it's our main site.
No. I'm talking about where the video is
It
for
is there.
Shanghai. Oh, it's there.
It's
try the
Scroll
video.
down.
It's at the bottom.
Oh, at the bottom of that page.
Yeah, go down some
Tink
more.
knows. She's the
Those-
one that builds all this stuff.
Yeah, you can see
I don't wanna
that.
go
Oh, there it
There
is.
it is.
That's
There
it.
it is. So
So
that's
you watch
it.
that. It's me now singing, but it's us performing.
There's footage
in
in there.
Shanghai.
Very cool.
Yeah, check it out. We've got. I mean, if you want to watch some of it, we got
Yeah,
time. You can
let's
run
do it.
Shanghai, no one can forget that night. That was the first evening, I think, in Shanghai. This particular footage,
Yeah.
but it shows different nights that we played.
It was, it's quite a while ago, but you can see it's like it's still right now.
Yeah.
The heart, you just feel for these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was shortly after Tiananmen Square, so there were armed soldiers at our shows back then. Nothing had opened yet.
Wow. It must be some of the first, like, Western
We were.
experience that
Yeah,
many of those
yeah.
people had ever had.
Yeah.
Yes.
The business people were in already a little bit,
Right.
But Shanghai was not open. And the guy that brought us over was told, after we did the concert, he was told that they could open up Shanghai to the west, And so they started working on. There was one hotel in Shanghai at the time. That
Wow.
was it.
Wow.
That's all there was, yeah. So all that stuff happened since our first visit, and that was a dance. Like Shanghai was really like a courtship and kind of like a beautiful dance together with Shanghai.
Totally.
We've
so-
been sad we couldn't get back, and then it's become
Yeah.
more and more difficult and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But we feel like there's still a bond with the people of Shanghai, the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to just, we're really working on an album for China. We want them to know we love you apart from the politics and
Sure.
the differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know who you are.
Yeah.
We feel who you are.
Yeah, totally. It actually came up earlier this week where we were just simply talking about that. Like, music helps bridge a gap
Yeah.
between people
Yes.
who are
Yeah.
getting separated or whatever. It's really this kind of, they always say, universal language, which is of course the case,
Yeah.
but like, it creates probably, hopefully, a common ground where we can
Yeah.
remember that we're all human beings and we
Yeah.
should be respectful of each other to start, at a minimum.
Yeah, I think even the DNA things that are happening, science supports the fact that we were one family.
Yeah.
That had an origin with an original mother. It's not a religious concept. It's like
Yeah.
it all traces back to Ethiopia and things like that.
Yep.
So we all come from a common thing. And for the circus, a lot of our music is like call the family around. Mm-hmm. I grew
Yeah.
up in a very prejudiced. Back in the day, it was a very prejudiced neighborhood. I mean, there were lines you cross where people come after you with baseball bats.
Sure.
If you were Italian in the Irish neighborhood or black in the,
Yep.
it was really this tension and gang fights when I grew up. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that we're transcending that, and I think you got a Beatles show.
Yeah.
Even the Beatles, that whole thing that happened during the 60s was moving towards that embrace and realization. And now more and more, like I said, science even backs it up that
Totally.
we are one family. So I really feel like when the family can get together, we can adjust politics. Because I think we're all sick of Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
Like none of the above, please. And
Yeah, Americans. Let's
let's
be
just
that.
be together. Yeah, and let's be, one.
Say that all the time.
It's
Yeah.
it, brother. I'm telling you. So I mean,
So that's the thing is I think everybody there's so much noise around, and part of the thing with people come to our show to like, hey, have a moment of escape from all
we're
the isms.
apolitical,
Yes.
really, man.
It's like we're creating like don't pick a side, pick a future.
Sure.
That's really what
It's a
we're
great
about.
phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people need those safe spaces to just go and enjoy. Like,
They
we
do.
all need that escape.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah, we
something
do.
that we are so appreciative of the talent of the musicians to help us say, you know what, I need to forget about
Yeah.
troubles and whatnot and so on, and
I think that's when we're most real. Like
Yeah.
when we're the kid that we are in those cultural situations.
Mm-hmm.
The kid can be freed, and you can think of possibilities instead of what you're entrapped in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of currents in life that force you this way or that, financial or whatever.
Sure.
But cultural always lets us have a clean slate to say, what do we want to do together?
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's incredible.
So we're here today. We want to go play a show.
Yes, let's
I
go.
think we got to go.
Yeah, we got to let you guys go.
Yeah,
So
this was
Joziah,
great.
Tink, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're very welcome. Nice to hang with you.
So
brother.
honored to have you guys on.
Yeah, man. This was very
Yeah.
nice. This is a cool thing. You created a world yourself.
A little bit. And I'm so happy that we were able to have you a part of it. And I can't wait to see your performances
Good.
tonight.
See you tonight. Then.
Absolutely, yeah. 7:30 Stadplatz stage. Be there, and so we'll let you go, and then we'll bring on our other guests.
Good.
Okay.
Splendid time is guaranteed for all, as they say.
That's right. And
See you guys.
Bring your umbrellas, not for the rain, but for the fun.
That's right. See you, man.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Come on up.
Is that okay that we walk off screen?
Yeah, please do. Yeah. We're very, we just let things rip around here. Meghan Laverty,
Howdy.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to fest today.
Nice. And Brett, what the Bren?
What the Bren?
I know.
Watch your language.
I've been waiting since we agreed on the day and time to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just fun. So I wanted to have you guys out here put these on because we're gonna we have some things to do, before we get to the official interview. But you guys will be my co-hosts
Oh, excellent.
for a little bit.
I got my Type 5 ready.
So the full pics of the plots is here for the day. How cool was the Slambovian Circus of Dreams?
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. How could you not be?
I saw them back when I used to work event staff. Mm-hmm. And they had a Musikfest cafe show, and I had no idea what to expect. And I'm still on the email list. This was like 7-8 years ago. I'm still on the email list. So I'm a fan.
That's so cool.
My emails are precious, so.
Yeah. So they're the fave of the day.
Yes.
And then the other ones we have on the list are Mr. No Name, the Wonton Soups, the Color Sound, the Wild Mans, and Bren.
What the?
Bren, you're on the pics of the plots. So here's where we kind of bring on a little bit of a sound of each one of those, or as many as we can get to.
Cool.
So if you saw there, Mr. No Name, very well done there, all lowercase, no punctuation, no spaces. And here's his song, Alive.
Something behind you, turn around and it's gone.
Cool sound, right?
Yeah, and a great lyric video, too.
Yeah.
A little jealous.
But I think it's alive, whoa. I know it's alive,
So he's played Musikfest before, so not a rookie.
Seasoned vet.
Yep.
Stage.
I stopped trying to look at it on screen just because it's way too small. So I look at it on my phone. So his stage is the Main Street stage at 5 p.m. So there's Mr. No Name.
That was awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
You were the trusted source for deep diving into the fest brochure. I trust no other opinions.
Wow, that's quite the compliment. Bren, you're welcome to join too if you want. Yeah. Come on in, throw on some headphones so you can hear all the jams.
Oh, yeah. Come on in.
Wonton Soups, local band, kind of a party band, but not a tribute band. They're their own thing. Mm-hmm. Do they play covers? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But they have plenty of their own originals that are also just a whole lot of fun. I found this video, which I thought was very cool for this purpose, because it's from a Musikfest cafe show, and it's like highlights of their originals.
Oh, cool.
So it's just going to give us kind of like an overall flavor of what they're like, and it's super fun.
Flavor of the wonton soup.
Swing, daddy, swing. Swing, daddy, swing. Uptown, downtown, round and round. Yeah, we gotta do your thing. Roll, daddy, roll. Roll, daddy, roll. Uptown, downtown, round and round.
People who know me and my fest know that I am a sucker for the brass.
I was going to say, I love saxophones.
Yep.
I love a saxophone.
Yeah. Sometimes people listen to that Spotify playlist and they'll be like, "Of course these are on your playlist. They have happy horns." that is a Philip Reese niche for the festival. I mean, year round, but still, like for the festival. Kind of nothing better than horns. Horns and keys.
I think we played a little fest at the same time as Wonton Soups.
Oh, on the Greenway.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, there was a little fest on the Greenway. Some great locals.
Yeah, there you go. So you can just see they've got just such a fun thing going on.
Yeah.
They are on the Festplatz stage, so they are
Fitting.
obviously expecting a crowd.
Yeah.
And that will be at 6 p.m.
That's a booty shaker.
And I wish I had done the flavor of the wonton soups on purpose, but that was just somehow my subconscious was like, say this word.
Your subconscious is genius.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it. Here is, so this is one that really built for me, again, over the playlist and then hearing it more and more. I guess I'll call it bluegrass. I'm so anti-genre labels.
Yeah.
But you'll hear what I mean when it comes on. This is a band called the Wildmans, and this is one where you're like, oh, you guys are killer. Like, you know, just like the instrumentation and the performance is great. So here's the Wildmans and their song Bob's Farewell. I don't know who Bob is, but see you later, because this song kills.
Phil, I've got something controversial.
What's that?
They give Volksplatz energy.
Oh, yeah.
Which I would take as a compliment.
Totally. Oh, please. Like, that was
justice
definitely...
for Volksplatz. This is the cream of the crop for that.
Totally. Yes, Volksplatz, R.I.P. Yeah. But I will say, you kind of had to not put a stage up there anymore because of the flooding.
Oh, yeah. It would have been gone as a Monday, this gig. But this is very much Volksplatz energy, which to me was my favorite stage.
Mine too.
And a lot of bluegrass that was there. So where is their home this year?
Later Platz, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And let me just make sure I get the time here. Wildman, Later Platz, 7 p.m.
Awesome.
So what? Yeah.
So we
today.
can
Yeah, these
catch
are all
them
the picks
before
of
you.
today. Yeah, because you're on the Main Street stage,
Oh,
so that'll be right behind you.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go peek and grab some of it. Yeah.
Because that's killer.
Isn't that great? So,
Whoa,
Goodbye, Bob.
she can shred.
yes, that's what I was saying. I was like,
Oh my
I
God.
started hitting play.
Y'all
Like,
are talking. I'm still like.
yeah, very, very awesome. And I also love when someone uses like the guitar as like almost like a percussive instrument as well as a stringed instrument. It's so fun.
Oh, the claw hammer banjo going.
Amazing.
Get out of here.
Get right out.
Get right
so what
out.
I like about
All right,
today
guys, bye.
is I have stages that are all on North Side, relatively close, and times of 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, and then 8:30. So like, I will probably be able to. I will hate leaving, but I will be able to capture probably 30 minutes of each of those.
You can do it all. That's
And-
the fest dream.
Yeah. So I'm gonna live the dream today. I mean, I would wish it would be like, hey, be on at 5, 6:30, 8, and 9:30,
Yeah.
and then I could really catch it all. But I'll take this because there's been other days where it's like Tioga.
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah.
I got there for the closer, and I was just like, but that was all I could possibly do to get there because
Yeah.
I was North Side and South Side split, and the timings were exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, and we had talked about it because it was the Accidentals.
Yeah.
I was like, it's probably almost any other band, and I'd be at Tioga.
And I'm not upset that you missed them because I wish I could have seen the Accidentals too.
Yeah. So
That's another Volksplatz find for me from years ago.
Totally.
So,
Yeah. And then lastly, What the Bren?
What the?
So let's. I have a song in here I wanted to bring on because I think it rips.
This is a banger.
It's a Breakup Body, and then you were going to play some live, and I made sure that I was not overlapping the songs you were going to play live.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Breakup Body by Bren.
Do you like my breakup body? I look nothing like when you used to touch me. And I shed my skin. Oh, I burned up my bones.
I love the It's the I didn't see that coming moment. And it's so great. So this is one of those cool moments where since you're here,
Yeah.
tell us about the video shoot.
Oh my gosh. It's actually a good story.
No, I love it.
So I am super lucky that one of my best friends, Joel Federo, is an insane videographer, and he's just so talented. So he's like, "Hey, you want to make a music video today?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yes, I do.
And that's just about as much planning went into it. Originally, we went to those outdoor shots like this one now. That's at his grandma's house. They live in
Shouts out to
Bushkill.
Granny.
Yeah, no, shouts out. This is the second video I filmed at a grandma's house. I'm not kidding.
I think you got to keep that going.
Yeah, no. Whose grandma has a nice space?
I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. Certainly I can.
Yeah.
You're not grandma.
Yeah.
Anyway, that won't work. So yeah, we did the first few shots here in Bushkill, just in the middle of nowhere. This beautiful space that she had. The swing here, like it was just like perfect. I would have been happy just keeping the whole video there.
Yeah.
And on our way back home, we passed the Nazareth Carnival that was happening on a Monday night.
So it was
we're
nice
like,
and empty.
Like, oh, well, we're gonna go film in there.
Yep.
And then they had the tilt-a-whirl things happening, and we got
there you
tons
go.
of there it is. Tons of rides and like just so like cinematic. I don't know. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I did feel, singing, lip syncing in public was a new venture for me.
Sure.
But I was like, there are 12 teens filming TikToks right now. So
Absolutely.
I can't be worse. And
And the song. Any good story about the song?
Oh.
And that video was done I had it in 48 hours from
Yeah.
the time they
Yeah,
shot
it
it to when it was in my inbox. It was like, hey Meg, by the way, we filmed a music video on Monday. And I was like, that's great. Awesome. Let's go with it. Yeah.
We just edited and then sent it off to Meg. I was like,
And then
I need to FaceTime you right now.
Yeah.
The song.
Well, so there's like obviously love and heartbreak and such all has us writing music.
Post breakup.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's this thing where like it's a way to work through the feelings.
Yeah.
But then you have to play it potentially in front of those people or people who know that person.
Oh, you are spot on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a small town I'm from, so
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the song is like, you can kind of generalize it as like a post-breakup song, but like I was kind of tapping into the idea of like reinventing yourself.
Sure. The Phoenix.
After, yeah. And not necessarily in a physical way, even though some people's breakup body, it's like, it has nothing to do with that. It's like, realizing, like after leaving like a maybe not so great situation, like just like little things about yourself that were maybe like being dampened by that situation. So I was like, interesting. So that came out of an experience like that.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the being from a small town, you probably can't do what Carly Simon did by saying you're so vain. You probably think it's about you. Maybe it's not. Probably not the case. And you're thinking like,
I mean,
it's not about you.
I've definitely grown to be a confrontational person.
That is true.
Breakup bodies.
You've played it in front of the person at Musikfest.
Sure did.
Listen, you can't.
It happens.
The art happens. So you gotta.
Yeah, I think that was actually pre. But anyway.
Breaking news.
Hmm.
Guess what? It was about you before it happened.
Yeah. Small town, so I do still run into
Can be a
people
challenge.
And, on okay terms.
Yeah, good.
With some.
Very cool. So let's take a mention. So Meghan here, Meg Lav, of creating vibe and culture and branding for musicians. So you are Bren's manager.
Yes.
And we mentioned before Tioga's.
Yes.
And tell us more about what it's about. Like, how does it work for you? And,
Oh my gosh.
What if
I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Right up front, I love what I do. It's the closest thing to being on stage without being on stage. I'm a terrible musician. I can't sing to save my life. I'm saying that right now. Anything in the apocalypse, I can do anything else. Singing, sorry, I'm out. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Even karaoke's a stretch. I
I
love
don't know
it,
if
but I
that'll
can't.
save you in the apocalypse, though. So
arguably,
you've got it.
I'm putting my options out there.
Sure.
So I love everything music. Can't touch it to save my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I love surrounding myself. A lot of my friends are musicians.
Right.
And most of my working relationships have been born out of being friends with people first.
Mm-hmm.
With Tioga, I have known the lead singer, Greg, since we were 16 years old.
Right.
And working as lifeguards together and how that evolved into the wondrous band they are today.
Mm-hmm.
And with Bren, we worked at a summer camp together for LVGR, Lehigh Valley Girls Rock,
Yep.
which is a really great organization.
Yes, had them on the show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a first-time counselor.
Counselor, yeah.
I was a first-time counselor. And I remember Miss Bren here performed one of the lunchtime shows, and I was like, wow, I really want to work with her. And then fast forward like a year or two, we went to get coffee, and we both kind of did that Spider-Man meme of like at the same time when
yeah.
we're like, do you want to work together? And it has been magical ever since. So if that's
very
the
cool.
story you asked for, you got more than you asked for with that story.
No,
But
no.
there you go.
It's whatever you want the story.
Yeah.
I just open the door. You have to walk through.
Yeah, I walked through, and I love being friends with the people.
I think that's got to be huge. Like, I think when I'm starting to get more and more working with the manager of the band.
Yeah.
You know, and so some of them are just simply 9 to 5, Monday to Friday types. And then there's others like yourself where it's a like an emotional commitment to the success of the band. And it's so much better to work with someone like yourself from my seat.
Cool.
Because the other ones are just like, you know, just it just feels corporate.
Yeah.
And it's not has nothing connected to the art and has nothing connected to the artist. And I just think that that's kind of shitty.
And I feel like I can be a better advocate for an artist when I know the ins and outs of their personality.
Right.
Like, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm a pretty good armchair psychologist when necessary.
Right.
And I can best
not
advocate.
that musicians need that or anything.
No, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
But I can read a reaction of like, do you really want to do this opportunity or no? Or are you just saying yes because you think I want a yes? Or can we really get into the nitty gritty of like how you feel about this release or something? So yeah, it's a job that wears many hats.
Sure.
And you also need to know your limits with it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I know things that I'm good at, and I also know where my expertise ends, and we hire another person to add on to the team.
Yep.
Whether that's PR, agent, photography. Like
Right.
I can get away with doing some photos, but when Joel's at a show, great, Joel's gonna do photos. Shout out to Joel.
Shout out to Joel.
Yes. So yeah, it's a job of wearing many hats and knowing
Sure.
your limits and being passionate.
Yeah. And are you like fully stocked, or are you open for other artists?
I'm open for business, but it's
It's got to be the right one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's not going to be just I'm taking on all
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If we were in it for the money, let's just put that there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
If I'm wanting to be at your shows all the time, separate of working with you, that's a good fit.
Sure.
So.
No, that's very cool.
Yeah. So Tears for Fears, I'm listening.
There you go. So yeah, Meg Lav. And so now we've got a little bit there to the origin story of where you got connected with Bren. So tell us a little bit more about your kind of history there. Like, when did music start for you? Like, was it always? Yeah. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So I come from a musical family. My dad plays guitar. He was in a hair metal band in the early 90s.
Very cool.
And he put a baby Stratocaster in my hands at 4 years old. However, when you're 4 years old and you go to play guitar, you're like, ow, this hurts.
Yeah, put it
Goodbye.
down. Yes.
No more. So a while passed, but I started singing in like elementary school, just in our little choir. And from there, I had an opportunity to go to charter arts.
Oh, very cool.
And
which is the local high school for the performing arts here. It's a very cool thing. Actually, my daughter just graduated from there. Yeah, she was visual arts. Actually,
Nice.
2 of my daughters have graduated from there for visual arts.
Wow.
But one only for senior year.
Okay, nice.
But it was such a great experience.
What
They offer there is just tremendous. Not just the education, but also the community that they've created.
Oh yeah. I mean, like we're at Godfrey Daniels right now, and like this was one of my first times performing in front of a live audience was here on this stage.
Because of them.
Because of them.
Yes.
Yeah, through them, and so yeah, I hold that place near and dear to my heart. But yeah, I started doing the bar grind.
Sure.
I started that at like 14, 15 years old. You know, playing like the gin mill from 10 to 1 a.m. like some serious gigging. But,
Sure, right.
And then, yeah, I have a very, very supportive family, which is really huge.
That
too.
is huge, yeah. And the music that got released first for you. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yes, let's talk about that. So I had recorded music in high school. I was 15 or 16 years old, and super. I mean, you're always figuring it out, right? Like in terms of your sound and your style of songwriting. Yep. But I was, you know, just learning my instrument, just learning how to sing and how to write songs, and I had recorded that, and I put it out into the world 2019.
Okay.
And then as COVID hit, I had like a lot of relationships in my life with family and some friends really changed during that time.
Sure.
And I came to realize that the music that I had out was not authentic to me.
Interesting. Yeah.
And you know, I put out an EP. I think it's important. I learned that it's important to put out music that you would listen to. I always felt like, you know, I write music, but it just doesn't sound like something, like a show I would go to, or you know, like. And I think that comes down to production a lot of times too.
It can certainly, yeah.
You know, these new songs sound the way they do because that's how they sound in my head.
Yeah.
And the songs that I had out just didn't match up for me.
Sure.
And so I took them down. And underwent a little bit of a change, a
metamorphosis.
That was the word I was looking for. Thank you. And a lot of people, close people to me in my life, called me Bren. It's my nickname.
Right.
And that felt really fitting for something new.
Right.
And yeah, I started over, and I've never regretted it.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of this music and all that went into it. I'm working with the right people who understand where I'm coming from, understand my vision.
Right.
And yeah, I'm really stoked to keep moving forward with it.
Totally. Like, I didn't want to brand this episode as being this, like, listen, here are the grizzled old veterans and then the person who started recently. Because I didn't want that to come... Really, all I kind of wanted to do was kind of highlight the fact that we could listen to somebody who started in the 60s, 70s as an independent, was, you know, like, viscerally independent, and all the hardships that would have created, and the fact that it would have probably closed some doors for them. And then someone who's starting now independently, and, you know, the different things that are available to, like, you know... I mean, you kind of mentioned before, you could just actually probably go on TikTok and get tens of thousands of views on something if it hits, and then all of a sudden you're in control.
Yeah.
So, like, what would happen to them had they had that or whatever, or, you know, whatever. But I just thought it was going to be enjoyable. You know, he said you write stuff that you want to listen to yourself.
Yeah,
I'm always like, I want to have the conversation that I want to listen to.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't care if anybody else listens. I can't wait to hear this juxtaposition of two different people who are coming at the music industry from, you know, just different time frames.
Yes.
And hearing what that was all about. And I just think
the field is done a 180. Everything is different.
Yeah. So this more recent music, you're going to perform some for us.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
A lot of it.
Yeah, very cool. So I understand there was, like, at least, you know, one or two, like, Whatever you want to do.
I have 2 tunes.
Perfect.
Ready for you.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, what I always like to do is give you center stage. I'll go off the screen.
Okay.
So if you want to grab your axe,
Yeah.
and then we'll just have you kind of intro each song, and we'll take a listen.
Sounds good.
Cool. And while she's getting that, so who else are you excited to check out for the festival?
Oh my goodness. It's also tonight, Great White Caps is a longtime favorite for me.
Nice.
Justice for Teen Meg, who didn't get to go to their final show at the Funhouse because I was not 21. I've been holding on to this for years. Their show last year canceled at Levitt, so I am hauling butt. I'm using that language on the live stream. Hauling butt down to Plaza Trop tonight.
Like.
Okay, I'm hauling ass down to Plaza Trop tonight after Bren is on to go see Great White Caps.
Very cool.
So
Very cool. Let's you and I will get out. We'll let Bren take over, and the floor is yours.
Right. Coming in. Do you think headphones on or headphones off? Doesn't matter?
I think headphones on, just so you can make sure you're hearing it. And the other chair might be better just because it's closer to where the mic center sweet spot is.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice. All right. Pop some of these guys on here. Do this one. I like these. These are nice. Get me a pair of these. Okay, folks. I'm going to play a song called Nothing to Me. We mentioned a little bit earlier about writing songs about some past exes, if you will. So this one's one of those. It's also on that EP that's coming out on August 25th.
Close enough to you to see your eyelashes move. Keep me at arm's length, never say a word. I don't know what the point is, don't know what it's worth. Don't wanna be the water you used to quench your thirst. Take it for what it is without questioning the pain. So if it's nothing to you, then it's nothing to me. You say that you're scared, and I'm anything but that. Feeling sure and small, keep me in your back pocket. You'll see me till you don't, kiss me till you won't. Don't want this to end, don't wanna be alone. I guess I was just the comforter you keep at your feet. So if it's nothing to you, then it's nothing to me. Crying in your bed while you're in the bathroom. It's easy when you're getting what you want, but it's too late for flowers. I've already wilted, and all my leaves are tangled on the floor. So I left, 'cause I want something more.
Yeah.
Should we switch
You want to do
back?
that? Just want to fire up the other one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll do the other one.
Let's go back to back.
Cool.
Sing it.
Yeah, so this next one is called Prom Dress. This was my first song out as Bren, and it's not about an ex. Well, I guess technically now it is. Uh-oh. Anyway.
Sing.
We're spilling a lot of tea today on this podcast.
Piping hot.
We're brewing right now.
More breaking news.
But it's a happier one. You know, I had a really terrible first relationship in my life, and I feel like I missed out on all of these kind of movie moments that you romanticize as a teenager, and then I was able to have some nice moments with somebody after that. It was not meant to be, but yeah, I wrote this at that point, so it's a little bit lighter.
Ooh.
For you.
Thank you.
I'm tangled.
Oh no, yeah.
Anybody else emotionally wrecked after nothing to me?
I definitely am.
Does it every time.
What an honor to have you play. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's remind everybody when the set is tonight. It's 8:30.
8:30.
Main Street.
Main Street.
And if you sneak into the Wild Man's, you'll see her there too, watching the shredding of the violin and banjos and everything else going on there.
Crazy.
But yeah, no, I mean, once again, the weather, the rain is going to get less and less as the night goes on. So
I checked the weather. I actually posted it on my Instagram. It's like clouds, rain all day, and then at 8 p.m., full sun. I'm like, wow, so nice.
The sun's going to come out at 8 p.m.
So nice that the weather cleared up specifically for our set at Musikfest. That's nice. It's nice that it did that
It's
for
good
me.
that you arranged for that.
Yeah.
It was good. But no, again, thank you for the performance, for telling your story.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And for joining us today. Meg, thank you for
You got it.
all of, I mean, you've been, I don't know, I made a little bit of a funny thing, so if you saw that we went through all the different songs on Tuesday when I was doing the picks of the plots, and obviously Tioga was on there. I played Just My Body because it's the recent hit. But then I was like, and then because I'm the host, I'm doing it, and I played Dream Eater.
You know,
This is your show.
I'm gonna.
That's exactly right.
I'm
There's
gonna
times only
break
a few-
some hearts here.
Yeah, what is it?
It was on the set list in a section called the relegation zone that could have potentially happened. And when they started Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, not by Tioga, I was like, oh man, I hope Phil somewhere hears this because I know what's going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. Then they played Break Me In. So I think it's because they didn't want you to miss it. That's what I'm going to go with. But it was thought
I'll
about.
take it.
It was considered. One time Henry sang Dream Eater, which was a real different experience.
Yeah. Well, and so that's funny, from similar to your story before. It's the first album by Tioga, a 6-song EP.
Yeah.
And it got taken down.
Yeah.
Luckily, I bought it before it got taken down. It must have been real around that time, and I didn't know. Like, I was just like, I love that music, so I purchased it rather than just counting on streaming services. I mean, this is why you do it, kids. I bought it off of like Apple Music, and so now I have it.
Yeah. There are some people that have my first ever single. Nope.
Oh.
This is. I don't even know if you. We're gonna.
Now we're breaking more hearts.
This is good. No, this is good. When I was like 15 years old, I took like a really old iPad that still had GarageBand on it, and I used my headphones that had been through the wash at least 3 times and had a little mic, and I made my first single, and I put it up on Bandcamp only because that's all I knew.
Right.
And
wow.
And I took it down like a year later, and then. Years pass, and I'm at a house show, and this guy walks up to me. He's like, "Oh, you're Brenna." And I was like, "Hello, who are you?" And he's like, "I love your song." And I was like, "What song?"
And it was this one.
And he's like, "This one." I was like, "No. How
Like,
do you
delete it.
have this?
Delete it.
Where did you get this?" And he's like,
Bought it on Bandcamp.
Duh.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it's out there on YouTube and stuff, so you can get the first 2 tracks off of that first EP, Tigers and Dream Eater. No reason why that wouldn't be on like radio, college radio, everywhere.
If you bug them enough, maybe they'll re-record. There have been discussions that I support.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Greg, get on board.
Yeah, well, because also I think even again, back to your point, the recording isn't what they sound like today. Probably a little bit of their maturity, probably a little bit of just simply they were listening to some other person and now they have a little bit more influence over what it sounds like. It would probably sound 10 times better even if they re-recorded it today. So
Ooh, Just My Body into Tigers? Wow.
yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
Tigers is amazing and Dream Eater is amazing, and go check them out because and then a Tioga show is awesome too.
Yeah.
But let's stay focused. We have a Bren show to talk about.
Yeah.
Purchase music so you can horrify the artists years later.
That's right. The one lesson to learn here,
yes.
everyone, is as soon as you see the music, buy it and definitely save it because you can always pull it out of the woodwork at some point.
Catch somebody in the crowd tonight singing Polite.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. I'd like to sincerely thank Joziah and Tink from the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. Catch their set tonight 7:30 on the Platz stage at Musikfest. Or, like they said, they do basically a Halloween show. So the Saturday near Halloween, I think it's the 28th, they said. They're in Jim Thorpe at the Moss Chunk Opera House. And then New Year's Eve, they're at World Cafe Live down in Philadelphia. And both of those shows apparently get packed. So get your tickets early. And then would like to thank Meghan Laverty and Bren for coming on the show and for performing live and sharing all their stories. Catch Bren tonight at 8:30, Main Street stage, Musikfest. The sun apparently is coming out at 8 p.m. today, just for your set. And yeah, and any other upcoming shows to promote?
Oh yes, August 26th, you're gonna come out and celebrate with me at Sokals, National Sokals on Southside Bethlehem.
Nice.
My EP release show with Slingshot Dakota, another amazing local band.
Wow.
And Halogens from New Jersey.
That sounds amazing.
Surprise!
More breaking news.
More breaking news.
All right, so we're gonna do all of that too. We got EP release out, and it's been a great week. We have 7 days in now. Well, we're about to get into the 7th day, and we're like on this meteoric rise. It's gonna just gonna be amazing. So definitely tune in tomorrow when we have Archive at Fox Royale. See you at the festival.